Okay, hello and welcome to a little video on making a car move down a street for a cutscene or something within RPGMakerMV. For starters, we're gonna open up RPGMaker. This is a test I did before doing this, just to make sure it worked right. And we're gonna go to New. We're gonna name this Video 2. Gonna pick the a default image as the parallax scrolling. Scroll it vertically because that's how this is going to be going down the street. And set this to, I'm going to put it at like 8 at the moment. Okay, that looks good. Now, here we have the scrolling image. We're going to put the player here. And I'm going to move the player up there just because. Actually, I'm going to move it here just so we can see the way the street works later. Next, we're going to load into RPGMaker and have the orange map plugin so that you can do this next part. Once we get in with the orange map plugin, we can press print screen, and that just took a screenshot, which now open up Photoshop and locate it within your files. So once you open that file up into Photoshop, and yeah, I'll be using Photoshop for this, once you open it up, this is what you'll have, just nothing on here because we used that map shot to get the size, not to get the image. That image of the sky is temporary. So next, what you're gonna do, and I've already put some over here, go in your tile sets folder and open up some of your tiles we'll be taking those tiles to make a bit of a painting kind of onto that blank Photoshop project. Okay, so how you do this is take out this tool right here. And you could do this a lot less sloppy. I'm just going to grab a chunk of this, go over to Edit, and Define Pattern, and name that something that you can remember. For the purpose of the video, I think I'll only use one, but if you really want to decorate it, you can use multiple shades of grass and or textures of grass and shade it and everything and all that. It'll just be harder to make the parallax work right. So now with that, we're also going to need to grab the street. So here we have the street on this image of tiles here. Let's see, I believe it is called SF Outside A5 if you want to find it in your folders somewhere, and just find the tile right here and take a chunk of this, Edit, Define Pattern, and there you go. Now you have those you can paint on later. We're going to go into here, and we're gonna put down first the grass. So grab this tool right here, the pattern stamp tool, and your grass should be somewhere up here. So let's see, it's one of these, basically this right here, and just paint all that grass on. And there we go. Let's see, actually I'm going to do that on a normal brush. That way it's not too different, because for the parallax to work, the bottom has to be just like the top, so it flows nice. Which is why I'm only going to use this one layer or texture of grass. If you want to get fancy, it's going to be a lot more work to make it look consistent, and I'm just gonna, for the simplicity of the video, it's gonna be 1. Next up is the street. Now we could just paint the street on like that, and that might look fine. Let's see. Yeah, you could paint it on like that and you get this gradient here, but I think what I want to do with this actually, and it might not look quite as clean, or like it'd look cleaner, it wouldn't look quite as soft, that gradient there. But if you go up here, actually instead of making this a brush, let's layer via copy and drag this over onto this project. Now I put this there, Control J, Control T to move it, and Control J is to duplicate. Control J, Control T. Anytime you mess up, just Control Z, and if you need to back up more, Control Shift Z to keep going. And basically just making the road like this, and don't worry, it'll get a little bit shorter amount of work after you've made a couple of these. So down here, layer 2 is clear the street. Hold shift and click up here to merge all these layers. And now this is one layer, so the more we do this, it's gonna keep getting a lot bigger, a lot quicker, and we'll be done in a very short amount of time. So now we have that. Down here, layer 2, copy 4, merge these, and now we're doing this. See, it's already getting way quicker. And then you can just merge this down, Control J, Control T. Arrow keys you can also use to move it up a pixel at a time, basically, and then keep Control J and Control T to keep duplicating and moving it down. There we go. Now, that doesn't quite look like a big enough road to me. You know, we need to be able to fit 2 lanes, so find a good spot and then start dragging this way. We'll get a wide enough street. So at this point, what I did, I went online and found a car to use. You can do the same, or you can even try to make your own car. Let me find it, I believe this is the car. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this middle one with this tool right here, the lasso tool, and then right click, layer via copy, and drag this copy over here. And now if we just make this car big, it won't fit. We have to make it big enough to fit our characters though and look good with the street. So I actually want to make the street wider. So I want the car to be decently sized, about there. So I'm gonna duplicate this street and drag it a little further this way. Click OK, and then click on this layer and drag it a little further this way. Oops, there we go. That might be too big of a street. That might be exactly how I had it before, I have no idea, but I like how that looks. Anyway, now I'm gonna grab this and grab the car. So the car is gonna be there, maybe like there. Okay, now we need to put our people in the car. I have 2 characters I made I'm gonna put in here. You can put your own, or you can put some NV character generator characters. Now I'm using this tool over here to select a bunch of pixels that are similar, so I can delete them because the shadow doesn't fit on this background. We're going to make our own shadow for the car. Okay. And this kind of looks weird to me in the front here. I kind of want to just cut that out using this tool. And let's zoom out and see how it looks. Yep, that's how I want it to look. But I want to put the players inside the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control J and then hide this car layer just because it's safe to make a backup. So now we have this car, and I'm going to grab this tool again, select that, and if it doesn't select at all, then you have to hold Shift, click again on where it didn't select, and then hit delete, and now I have an open window. Now I'm going to grab my characters. Let's see. This character, put her on the inside of the car, position her right. I'm going to go back and grab this character and put him in. And there we go, he should be a little taller. He's driving. Or she be like about the same height maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay, next, now that we have them in the car, we're going to go to the car layer, then click right here, create new layer, and drag this just above your characters. So layer 5 is a window. Right, so I'm going to grab a bluish tint, grab the brush tool, make it an appropriate size, and about like 21 opacity. Let's see. It's not quite giving the effect. So let's see, let's add this as an overlay instead by clicking up here, make it overlay. Okay, and then can mess with the opacity. Now if we zoom out, that looks about right for now. Now these two are the characters, correct? Yeah. Under the characters, make a new layer and just drop in some black or something, you know, to signify that they're in a car, they're not out on the street, because the street was the background. And now we have our characters in a car. I'm actually going to move them down a little bit. About there, and move him down some, about there. Alright, next, shadow of the car. So this is our car layer, our window layer, our characters layer. So if you want to combine the window and the car, I'm going to. And our characters, I wouldn't combine them with the car just because I might want to add some facial expressions during the cutscene. And if you want to learn how I would do that, I could make a video on later, but no, I'm not going to do it in this video. So, under the car, I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to make it like 26 opacity. I'm going to drop in a shadow. Instead of making it a very dominant shadow, I'm going to kind of hide it for the most part, just so it barely peeks out. And then if you want to make it a little bit darker, I would just duplicate it and lower the opacity a little bit of the second layer of that. Okay, next up, if you look at the car, you can see that some stuff is left behind. We're going to pull out the erasing tool and just get rid of that. Okay. Just clean it up how you think it fits. Make it look nice. And this is a pretty simple tutorial, so I'm not going to mess with the car much, but I think I would actually go in and like edit these pixels a little bit and make it look cleaner, just because these pixels are kind of not fitting with the character's like cleanness, you know? You could play with that if you want to. I think I'm gonna leave it fine. Leave it how it is because it's fine how it is. Next, we're going to add some white lines across this street. So I'm gonna go to the street layer right here. You can, I'm not very good at keeping these organized, but if you want to, you can name your layers and all that. It makes a big difference later on once you start having like hundreds of layers. Depends what you're doing. And you never know when you might mess up just because you didn't name your layers down here properly. So I'm gonna pull out the normal mode, 100 opacity, and here, let's just do it this way. So grab the brush tool, hardness 100, and size can be about 9. 9 looks good. So I'm going to make it on the edge here so that that already has an edge, and then I'm going to grab this and delete that. Now it's a perfect edge. I'm going to find the center. And that feels about like the center. Okay. And I'm just going to Control J, Control T, and drag it like this. And you might be thinking, oh, well, you don't want it to be a perfectly straight line, and that's correct. That would look kind of weird. What we're actually going to do is delete them in between each other after, but in order to make them the exact same length, it's simple just to do it this way. So just keep copying and pasting these. Move this up a little bit. We want them to be the same length or it'll kind of look weird. Control J, Control T, move it down, press OK. I'll move this up a little bit, snap it right there. Control J, Control T, and OK. Keep repeating that. We're almost there. Couple more, and we are about done. Should be done with this. Okay, now we go back up to the top and we just down here in the layers. So layer 7, keep. This, delete. This, keep. This, delete. This, keep. This, delete. Keep. Delete. Keep. Delete. Keep. Delete, and keep doing this. And now we have the lines for our street. So far it's looking pretty decent. And next up is trees. So go and grab some trees. I feel like I'm gonna do the same trees from my other test video, or like didn't record it, but test for the video. Right here, these trees. Now these trees were having some weird lines going on when I made them bigger. And if you don't want to do that kind of thing, like if you don't want to have that, find trees that look really nice when you make them very large. But for this, I'm just going to keep using these. Okay, now you're going to move your tree. If you go here and slash layer via copy, drag this tree over here. Something to keep in mind when you're doing this part is that if you have the tree go off on the top here, then while it's going down, and if it doesn't match up perfectly down here when it's going down and it starts to parallax, or the parallax starts to loop, this is going to be cut off, and you don't want that because it breaks the image of it going through over and over again. So as long as it doesn't touch that top up there, it should look fine. So now just drop in all kinds of trees, and they can go horizontally, they can go off, that doesn't matter. So Control J, Control T. The only rule is that they don't go up or down, and you could make them go up and down as long as you match it up, but this is a simple tutorial on this, and that would be a little bit more complicated. Also, for the simplicity of this video, do not make the tree go where the car would be driving, in quotes driving, because you want to, if you have it, the car will go over the tree like that in the game, and you don't want that. So just keep adding some trees. And just keep being careful of where the car might be passing by, because this image is going to be scrolling up and then repeating. Also try to avoid the bottom here. You don't want these shadows to go too close because of that repeating factor. Now Control J and start bringing these onto the other side, and you can move them out way more than you were doing on that other side, because the car is not driving over here. If you want to have other cars passing by, then and you want to keep this simple feature, then you would definitely put them how you did on this side. So just keep adding some trees and try to make it look nice. You might want to play with some varying sizes of trees. Depends on how you want to make the scene look, or how your game works. Maybe all your trees are the exact same size, and that's fine. And just keep remembering the rules of the two vertical lines up here. They have to stay looking exactly the same. Okay, now we're going to test this image. We're not going to finalize it yet because who knows, it might completely break and not work. So let's see. Hide all the car layers. Like so. And now save it as a PNG into your parallax folder. Okay, now it should be in your parallax folder, so when you go down here to your map, click edit, and if you go down here where we put the parallax background as a default, we're going to select what we just made. Click OK and open that up and see how it runs. So my computer is making it look a little choppy, but it seems to be running smoothly, and you can kind of tell that it's, you know, looping just because of that gap, and you could fix that gap if you want to spend the time, but for this video I'm just going to make it simple like this. Okay, now we're going to close this. We know that runs, and we're going to save the car on its own image. So let's get all the car layers back. Hide every other layer down here. Alright. There we go. Future reference, I would kind of, I'd probably merge all of these trees together. Also, don't forget to hide the white lines. Okay. So there's our players. I'm actually going to add something on here. This is kind of looking a little bit plain, the glass. So let's find the glass. The window, I mean. If you name it, it'll help a lot. Oh, that's right. Didn't I merge that? I did merge that. So what we're gonna do, just make a new layer. Grab a white brush, really low opacity. And just, I don't know how this will look, but I want to kind of toss in some of that glaring. There we go, that kind of gives it more of a window feel, I think. Okay, so all this is on its own background. There's nothing else here except for the car stuff. We're going to save that as a PNG into the picture folder. Okay, and we're here ready to add the car. So this was the test one I made. I'm going to copy this, paste that here, and then show you what this looks like. So you're gonna show picture, make a, right here, I can show you where that is. So go in here, find show picture right here, and you're gonna make it look like this. Set it to number 1, grab your picture, which should be right here, and leave everything like that. Okay, and then next you're going to go to the 3rd tab and click plugin command and type out this right here. Capital B bind, capital P picture, capital T 2, capital M map, no spaces there, space 1, space, no caps, below underscore characters. Click OK. And then just erase event, which is right here. Oh wait, no. Here. In the 2nd tab. Apply. Click OK and go into the settings. System and start transparent. Now click play. Now some clear work could have been done on this car, erasing more around the edge, and we didn't keep, or I didn't keep within the thing, so I'm actually going to make those changes real quick. Oh, is it gonna? It did it again. I think what I'll actually do for fixing that problem, open up this. And let's see, I think we can just move this. Let's test it if we can. Let's see if we can move it like 10 on the X coordinate. Maybe that'll fix it. Maybe we don't have to open Photoshop back up. Let's see. Yeah, so that's cutting it kind of close. I think I'll move it a little bit more. Maybe 12, 13 maybe. Click to save that and play. And see how this turned out. Okay. Yep, no clipping going on with the car and the trees. And there you go, you have a driving car down a street, and it looks a little bit rough on the cuts here, like the street to the grass. I would advise editing that if you want it to look a little bit nicer, because this is kind of abrupt right here. Or you might want this for your game. Either way, I would also yeah, this would need to be moved down more. I don't think we need to do that for this video, but definitely something I didn't pay attention to in the in here is right here. See, because these are two on the edge there. It repeats it twice, it looks like, in the video. Well, all I would do to fix that is just move these move them down so that the edges are still clean, and then boom, you're done. So next, I want to test out something actually. So the car, she's about there, right? So let's play and see if she's about there. Yeah, she's about right there. So something you can do to really do some cool stuff with this scene, if you let's make an event right next to her. And make this auto run. And just show a balloon bubble. Where is that? Show balloon icon above the player. I'm gonna just put this one. So this can let's try it. Let's add a make it nighttime and see how that looks. But you can make this into a cutscene for your game by doing stuff like this. So you have the auto running visual of the car driving, and I would move her down, I guess. So now let's see. So now it kind of looks like it's coming from her, even though her character is invisible. If you position it in the right spot, you can have that that speech bubble there. Now this is at nighttime, the car is driving. You can add a lot of different things to make this into your cutscene. So let's see. Let's say that when it's nighttime, it is also raining. Kind of hard, let's say 8. Now see how you're already giving a certain effect to the game by just having this feel like a cutscene, because there's constant movement instead of two characters in a still car. There we go, we have a decent little cutscene here using a car, parallax background, little Photoshop, but all pretty simple stuff that you should be able to follow along in this video and recreate for your game. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you like this video, comment below, and subscribe. Those 3 things will tell me that I should make more of this stuff. I'll try to, if you have any suggestions on what kind of things you want a tutorial of, I'll try to help. I'm not pro at RPG Maker, but I can do some things like this. This is a pretty simple little tutorial, and if it helped you, glad to help. Thanks for watching.